welcome back. I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
Together with the Fuji Guys. Hey, this video, Billy, is going to be a great one because we're going to go through the top features of the Z700. It's a brand new camera from Fuji. It's our first camera in Canada with a touchscreen LCD. And I guess if we're going through the top features, I'm going to have to start with that LCD screen. I'm going to flip the camera around here of the Z700, and you're going to see it's a 3.5-inch widescreen touchscreen. And basically, that's great when you want to play back your pictures or your HD movies with this camera. You can look at them with the full 3.5 widescreen mode. But also importantly, when you're controlling and accessing most of the features on this camera, that touchscreen brings up nice large icons there that you can just touch on the screen to control your camera. So it keeps the camera nice and clean on the back because there's not a lot of all the regular buttons and mode dials and things like that.
It's very sleek looking.
So it keeps the camera very sleek looking. So I'm going to pick the LCD screen on this camera as the #1 feature. So I'll let you take it from here.
And this year as well, with a lot of our cameras, the video functionality has been upgraded to record HD video up to 720p, which is, again, this style of camera, because you carry it everywhere with you, it's always a great thing to have the ability to record in HD.
So that makes this a great little video camera as well that you can pull out of your pocket. Well, as the name indicates it, the Z700 EXR, this camera has our award-winning EXR sensor technology. And
it's a 12 megapixel sensor.
It's a 12 megapixel sensor, and what's really special about this camera is that it performs very well in low light conditions. So you can shoot at a high ISO of say 800 and get very little noise, if not any noise at all. Also, if you shoot in very contrasty situations where there's very bright areas and very dark areas, the sensor in this camera will develop and deliver a lot more dynamic range, so you can get more detail in those highlight and shadow areas. So that's really getting the EXR sensor is worth the price of admission right away for this camera. It's won all kinds of awards. We have a few other models with that sensor technology now, and they are all highly praised models. So tell us more about the Z700.
Yeah, even on top of EXR technology with dynamic range, better for low noise. Z series cameras always has that idea of being very slim and stylish, and even with the style of this camera being so slim, it offers a 5x optical zoom lens, which is something that's really, I can't believe they put stuff like that into such a small little camera like this. It's only about 17 millimeters thick.
That's right.
Very, very stylish piece. So that's really a cool little feature to have, especially for a nice little compact. And I mentioned earlier too with the HD videos, you can zoom during the videos on this camera as well. So having that 5x optics is great on top of the HD video recording, Greg.
Yeah. Well, some of the standards that we've always continued to improve as far as features on the cameras are face detection technology. Well, we've gone a few steps further this year. We have in this camera not only face detection but face recognition. And Billy, I could, for example, if I had 1,000 pictures on my card, I could register a picture of your face, and I could identify it in the camera, and with one press of a button, out of those 1,000 pictures, it could find every other picture of you. So
that's cool.
If someone's looking for a lot of pictures of Billy or of their children or something like that, it's a great way, because I know with these 2 gigabyte and 4 gigabyte cards, people store hundreds of pictures sometimes, and it's a great way to get fast access to all the pictures of familiar subjects. And then also, speaking about familiar subjects, we've heard about face detection, and of course we advanced that to include red eye removal last year. But this year we even have something Ace Ventura would be proud of, and that's pet detection. And yes, we figured out the algorithms to actually accurately detect most breeds of cats and dogs now as well on our face detection mode. So I think we're the first, as usual, with that technology. And so those are a couple new interesting things as well.
And just like some of the other high-end EXR cameras that we offer, there's things like that Pro Focus feature mode that in the scene mode, you'll find that you can select that when it takes a picture, it takes multiple shots, and it actually cuts out the background and sort of softens the background, and so that you get that shallow depth of field that you would get in a more SLR styling camera. And we know how difficult it is to get shallow depth of field with such a small style camera and small sensor.
Pretty much impossible.
Having that feature is awesome to have. On top of that, there's also a pro low light mode as well, which again takes multiple shots and sort of stimulates the images and giving you cleaner pictures in low light on top of
great
EXR
for night
technology.
scenery pictures.
Absolutely.
I tried this with the other camera with this feature, the F70, which has the EXR and the Pro Low light, and just fantastic for night scenery pictures. So I think this is the kind of camera where people would be out on the town at night with.
Well, it's a fully featured camera, Greg.
And you stop and use that Pro Low light mode
Absolutely.
and get some nice cityscape pictures with that. The camera's got our super intelligent flash technology. There's a new auto picture rotation technology as well. Billy, why don't you just tell them about that a little bit?
Yeah, if you plan to take pictures like this in terms of a vertical portrait, you'll find that when you play back the images, they'll auto-rotate.
Right. So there's no sense in having to show your pictures and keep changing your camera every time
That's right.
you switch.
And even when you're using the camera itself and you shoot it vertically, the menus automatically rotate as
that's
well.
neat.
Which is
Okay.
cool to have, yeah. Great low-cost camera.
This camera also has dual image stabilization, which is great because it's 5x zoom lens, optical zoom. It's good to keep it steady. We also, all of our cameras come with a 2-year Canadian warranty. Just want to remind our viewers out there. Of course, this is a rechargeable battery. It accepts, as you mentioned before, the secure digital or SD cards.
The high-capacity
and
cards,
even the high-capacity versions of that. And so I think anyone who gets this camera is just going to have a load of fun with it. People will be envious because it's so good looking as well.
It's very
and
stylish.
this touchscreen technology is just, it is the latest. If you really are the type of person that has to have the latest, this is the one to have.
Yeah, it
So-
even has that cool playback. You're sliding pictures back, just
Yeah.
like other touchscreen style devices. So.
I hear you. My
Really
kids have a
cool.
bunch of them. So anyways, till the next video, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And together we're the Fuji Guys.
Fuji Guys.